In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is but one God. I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. I am a student of the teaching of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and I could never thank Allah enough for raising the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and answering his prayer and giving him one to help us to better understand his word. That one that came to him as an answer to his prayers is the man I'm blessed to represent to you, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It's in their wonderful names I'm honored to greet all of you, and it is on behalf of all of us who stood together to secure justice in the murder of Oscar Grant that we are gathered here today. Sister Beatrice, who I thank, along with Uncle Bobby, for inviting me again to share here with our families. I'm very honored that the mother of Oscar, Sister Wanda, has permitted me the opportunity to do what I could to help a family in need. I am especially thankful that Oscar's daughter, who may not know much about those of us that gathered in order to secure justice and why it is that we should gather. I'm reminded of words of the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. when he went into Alabama and they wanted to know why he was there, since that's not where he was from. And he answered, so that when we're looking at the injustice that our people suffer and have suffered, we're not talking about a thing of the past. We're talking about a condition that exists in the present. It becomes important for us to know the past so we can connect it to the present. Because those who know what was are those who understand what is. And those that understand what is are those who are prepared to take on and to change what is yet to come. So wise people study history. In July of 2010, as the verdict was being announced, we made a statement on that day. What is the value of black life? And when we consider that which is valued, make no doubt about it, when you value something, you make preparation to respect and to protect what you value. I'm looking at many of the wonderful placards that some of you are holding. I've seen many that said things like books, not bars. I've seen many that have messages on them that say educate, not incarcerate. Because when we direct our resources toward real, true, and proper education, we are not only concerned about the child's condition in its present life, But when we educate, we cultivate and make a way that tomorrow will be better than today. None of our children should be satisfied with what this world suggests is awaiting us. Let's just look at the raw numbers as it relates to the lives of our people. Here, California is the largest incarceration state in the world. Is that a fact?
Say that. Say that.
Here, the school system is at its wit's end, trying to figure out how to close what they're calling a school to prison pipeline. How do you have a pipeline from schools to prisons? The fact that even such a phrase exists tells us that the schools are dramatically failing our children. I spent time over the last few months dealing with young men at Fremont High School to discover that the only black male that deals with young men at Fremont High School as a teacher is me. I was shocked. There's not another black male teacher on the campus. Answer, no. Okay, stop right there. Then what black men do our young men encounter? Answer, we encounter maybe some janitors. And there's nothing wrong. That's good, clean work with being a janitor. But on the other end, we encounter a position that places us with a badge on our shoulder as an intermediary between the only hope for a bright solution. The reason we're able to consider the conviction of Johannes Messerly was because of the unity. I'm honored to be here with our sister Desley Brooks, who, along with our supervisor Keith Carson, who's in the crowd. See, everybody doesn't show up for these kind of events because these kind of events are not always considered politically expedient. So many of those in the political arena have for years been too frightened to really stand up and speak what is good, right, and proper for the suffering masses of black people. But because we have those that were willing, one of the boldest images of protest that you'll find in this movement was our sister Desley, laid out face down on the sidewalk with her hands behind her back, with messages that declared, "Don't shoot me or tase me, I'm a father." In other words, being elected to political office did not rob her of her identity as one of us. Being elected to political office does not rob us of our responsibility to lift up those who haven't gained what we have gained. Being found employed does not take away from us our duty and our responsibility to ensure that our people have a future beyond our job. Listen very carefully as I close. My children cannot inherit my job.
That's right.
I have to make a future for them. And because you have a job does not mean that there's one awaiting your children. So the community's need today is to unite as we have never united before. Do you know that there are 16 million working class black people in America? And that if 16 million working class black people in America saved 5 cents a day or 35 cents a week, that we could put into a treasure $291,200,000 a year.
Right.
Could we build a school that works with $291 million?
Yes, sir.
Could we provide jobs for our people with an investment of $291 million?
Yes, sir.
Could we buy up enough land to grow enough food to feed our people from an initial investment of $291 million? See, this is just a blueprint that says if we were willing to set our egos down, and if we were willing to look beyond our hope that the government would all of a sudden become your best vehicle toward liberation. It has a responsibility. But let's look at what they did with theirs. With the government's duty, they sent J. Edgar Hoover after the black movement. Every organized effort of black people in this country that have ever existed has been attacked, and most have been destroyed. Somebody asked me recently, where are the Black Panthers? Well, I think we already know the answer to that. They were attacked and they were destroyed. Where are the revolutionaries of the 60s? I think we know most of the answers to that. They were attacked and their movements were broken. In fact, the FBI set about a plan to discredit them, to destroy them, to lead toward their demise. In fact, don't waste any opportunity to get between those that look like they want to call for unity among the people.
That's right.
They went so far. We celebrated the birth of Jesus, those who took December the 25th as such a date. But do you know that they didn't have an FBI then? They had the RBI, the Romanian Bureau of Investigations. And let's see if there'll be a child born that we cannot control. The rulers of this world want full and complete control of the poor.
That's right.
That's why when they protested here and declared we are the 99%, well, the 1%, those that control, made a determination. We are not going to allow you to change the dialogue here. In fact, we'll send every force necessary to put it down. In closing, I brought with me a book called Rise of the Warrior Cop. On it is an image of law enforcement officers who are dressed not to protect and to serve, but law enforcement officers that are dressed for urban warfare. And when the author placed the picture on this book, somebody asked him, what movie did that image come from? And when I saw the picture, I said, well, I didn't need a movie. I don't need Terminator or some RoboCop to show us what a cop looks like when he's armed to the teeth. This is one of the few rallies we've had that you haven't seen this image looking right at us from up the block or around the corner. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
All around the country, law enforcement authorities are not preparing themselves to deal with the social ills that our condition have wrought. But law enforcement authorities are finding new ways to scare you down, to lock you down, to break you down, to kill you down. So if we have representatives in government, and we do, we have to resist with every ounce of our strength having law enforcement to resort to this rather than to build our schools and support those programs which lead to the cultivation of the human being. This will never make a better human being. But this is the manner and the method of governments all across the country. That's why, as we acknowledge the conviction of Johannes Messerly, we have to know that in order to bring about the change that we desire, we don't need a moment. We need a movement.
That's right.
A moment won't get us there. We need a sustained movement to do something for ourselves. And what you'll discover is when we begin to do more for ourselves, we claim the respect that we deserve. Because no one really wants to offer a people help that are doing nothing. But if you get up, pull yourself up, and begin to pool your resources to do more for yourself, then when you make demands on government, you make a demand not from a position of weakness, but we make our demands from a position of power that comes when we unite as a community. Family, let's show our love for the family of Oscar Grant and for all of the activists that made that case find its way to court, and for yourselves for taking a stand for righteousness and justice. May Allah bless and keep you. Have a wonderful new year, not simply of resolution, but quite frankly, a new year of change, which is meant when we say revolution. May Allah bless you all. Assalamu alaikum.